To all the people, it's Presley Prince, and this is the Press Play Podcast. You feel me? So, you know, after that video you see, after that video you just seen, I'm gonna call this episode Epiphany. You know what I mean? So, what do I mean by epiphany? Like, I'll tell you a little quick story that happens to all of us, right? So, you know, in our teenage years, or when we're a kid, right? We're very confident in who we are. We're very, we don't care what we say. We're unfiltered as kids, right? Then it gets into like teenage years, or you're going to high school. Now you're worrying about what this girl thinks of you, what this guy thinks of you. You're worried always about how you look to people. You know what I'm saying? You never do no like internal work. You just, everything is impressing people or making people feel below you to feel better about yourself. You know, that's what a bully would do. But we go through a phase of just ego. We have so much ego, so we don't care what people tell us. We don't give a fuck about no authority, nothing. You ain't telling me nothing. Feel me? So then, boom. Eventually, that character we created, that was influenced by other people, right? Where we're using our ego to verify and say to ourselves, I'm more intelligent than this guy. I'm more happier than this guy. You feel me? I'm more smarter than this guy. I'm more physically better than this guy. I'm more emotionally, you know, emotionally stronger than this guy, right? So you build up a false ego. You start doing your character is based off social construction, how society sees you should be, so then you'll be accepted, so that you can fit in, right? Then I'll tell you a little thing. We go through something called an identity crisis, especially in like early adulthood. We go through something called an identity crisis. Like me personally, it was wild. I had like an identity crisis when I was like 19. Like before then, I was like confident. I'm like, okay, I just finished high school. I made it to university. I'm the first one in my whole ancestry to make it to university. I even bought a crazy sweater that was like $60. You feel me? 6 bills. Whatever, fuck that shit. But let me just continue. Dollars, change, money. So, you know, I went through a phase of after high school and being accepted to university and having something to look forward to, because that's one of the keys to happiness. One of the keys to happiness, or what makes us happy, is always looking forward to something happening for the better of us. That's why they call it dreams, because you know in the future you're gonna get to where you want to go. So you have a level of excitement and joy knowing that you're, through your hard work and your abilities, because you know you can complete the task, that it will get done, right? But look, so then I get to 19 and I'm going to parties, I'm hanging out with people, I'm very, very, very social, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no more high school. It's time for me to get out there, make a name for myself. You know, it's not time to play anymore as a man. It's time to get it. You feel me? But still be young while doing it. So I had like some sort of identity crisis at like 19, where, you know, it was almost like my ego was the one that gave me this confidence, or or better yet, I'm naturally confident, but I guess my ego made it at such a high level where I thought I was almost smarter than people that weren't even my peers. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm a smart guy, but I went there like as my mindset was always like challenged in the sense of like, if I see somebody, and maybe they do something that I wouldn't do, I'll kind of judge them, or I'll feel like that's not right. You shouldn't have done that because I wouldn't do that. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is like, you get to this age of identity crisis where now you begin to lose yourself, right? After that, you begin to lose yourself. So now you're trying to remember who you were as you're losing yourself. But it's really yourself shedding. I don't want to say like a snake, but let's say like a butterfly, better than a snake. Let's say a butterfly. You know, you're in your cocoon, you're in your safe place. You created your reality to live in, right? So you're in your safe location, right? Then it gets to like you becoming a butterfly. Now you're gonna have to undergo a lot of stress, a lot of obstacles, a lot of doubts. You know what I'm saying? Because now with this doubt, you feel like you're in a dark tunnel and you can't see the light, right? But still, you try to remember or try to be the person you were, that person where you felt you were the happiest. But it didn't make you a man. It didn't make you a woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once that identity crisis goes on, you have to come to the realization that you need purpose. You know what I'm saying? That's what holds society together as well, also, because everybody has purpose. If everybody didn't have to go to work, it'd be mayhem. People need purpose. So when you're growing up into a grown woman, a grown man, you need purpose. You know what I'm saying? You need a higher power to show you, to guide you, to direct you into the path that you should be in, right? That you want to be in too, ultimately, that you love. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of things you'll love is what you should go into. You should go into something that you love and are passionate about, that you would do for free, and that really comes effortlessly, or effort. Let's say I'm wearing girls. You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing girls, but do things that are the least effort, things that you can do naturally. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you hit an epiphany where you go through that that early adulthood, where now you're like, okay, I feel I'm the best at this, let me work at it. And the more and more you work at it, eventually you see who you are on your journey throughout life. Then life becomes you chasing who you actually are supposed to be, not who you were, right? So you hit an epiphany. Epiphany basically means like a realization. It's just like they always say, the truth will set you free, or they say the truth will always come out. So you have those moments in life where like people have been telling you lies, or you said this and they said this to you that was a lie, and then eventually as you get older, it's like the truth just rushes towards you, just comes to you, and it's like it comes to you and you're just like, oh, like that's why that happened to me, or that's why he did that, or she did this, or that's why they said this on TV, or they said this on social media, or whatever. Fuck social media, reality. You just see the truth reveals itself to you. So as you're growing into who you're supposed to become, as you're living in your purpose that's been assigned to you by God, you know what I'm saying, that you're supposed to do for the kingdom of heaven, for the kingdom of God, you'll slowly see your work and you'll be like, okay, that's who I am, right? It's almost like when you were a kid, you had this to you, like maybe you like the color blue. As you got older, you started listening to people or media or what you see on TV and started comparing it, and it wasn't natural to you no more. It was more like, you know what, this is the best color I feel. Maybe you're thinking it's gonna be better than everyone. If I'm a color red, I'm more fire than everybody, you know what I'm saying? But really, naturally, you're a cool person, right? So once you go through that phase, after that phase of that identity crisis, you begin to see even who you were as a kid evolve into who you are now. You know what I'm saying? So you hit an epiphany, a realization, where now you got the magic glasses on. You got the magic glasses on. You got the third eye activated. You know what I'm saying? So the truth reveals itself to you, and then you live in truth. You become who you're going to be, and it's just fun going through life, because life is a journey. So that whole journey, that yellow brick road, because you're gonna get there, you're gonna be successful, like the Wizard of Oz to that yellow brick road. You're gonna enter the kingdom. Well, you just gotta work at it meticulously, day after day, get better day after day. Find something that you love and are passionate about that you do for free. You know what I'm saying? Something you feel where if you don't give this to the world will be at a loss if you didn't gift us with what you've been born to the gift that you were born with. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's like an epiphany, a realization. You're on the red pill. It's like the Matrix. You finally broken out of the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Now no one can control you because you're doing what you're supposed to do, and God is willing it in your life. So whatever plan God has for you, it will come to pass. No one ever can come in between that. So you're just a vessel. You're just enjoying the ride, putting in the hard work, and getting the credit from other people to show the credit of God in terms of like they'll see how God is working in your life. It's a reflection of how well your life is, a reflection of God's name, right? So what you do is for God. What you do is to show people the glory of God, to show people to rejoice in God. And that's one of my missions. One of my missions is I'm going to make sure following God is cool. People don't want to follow God nowadays. It's kind of wild. And that's a missing piece they're missing. So eventually maybe they'll hit that epiphany. Maybe they'll become who they're supposed to be. They're going to start becoming something that they're proud of. You know what I'm saying? So, peace, people. Peace.